everybody, welcome to my 28th floss tube. I'm actually filming this on April 12th, which is Saturday rather than Sunday. I got a few extra hours at work tomorrow, so I won't be done till 1. So I thought I'd do this now instead of tomorrow when my husband is still sleeping. So I hope you've all had a good week. Mine's been busy. Good news is it's finally starting to feel like spring. I have my sliding glass door in my living room cracked open. We have less than 40 days of school left for the school year. I found out Thursday that I will be teaching one session of summer school, so that's nice for the pocketbook. I've got a few extra hours at Michael's for the next week, so that's nice as well. I haven't financially been enjoying having every other weekend off, but mentally and physically, I've definitely been enjoying it. I have been burnt out, tired, and I think it's helping me recover a little bit. I also applied and got accepted to the local college here. I am going back, hopefully, if I can figure out the finances. I'm trying to find out how many classes I will need to add on to my class credits for college to be a licensed high school science teacher. So yeah, set up my email and everything. I've just got to talk to my advisor to find out how many classes I'll take, and then I will decide whether I have the mental bandwidth to do that as well. So my stitching might have to take a back seat if that happens, but it could increase my chance of job security, which is really good. As many of you know, there are some interesting things going on in the US right now. I'm trying to be polite about it and not get on a soapbox this time. So as much as I would like to be a school librarian, I think those jobs are going to become few and far between. And so my principal has already said I'm not actually on her list of automatically being cut. So there is a chance that they will invite me back next week. Next week is the day that teachers in my district find out whether they are being renewed or not. So I might not have to look for a job. That was one of the things I was going to do this weekend, but I decided to just push it off a week and wait and see if I get asked back. Most of my frustration with this year is that I didn't feel like I knew enough or was confident enough in my science knowledge, because I haven't had science since I was in college the first time. So I am crossing my fingers that I can figure out how to do it mentally and financially. We are short high school science teachers in my state, and I know that at some point I did see a grant specifically to become a science teacher for secondary education. So I'm hoping that I can find that again and apply and get it. I wouldn't be going for a master's, it would just be the bachelor version. So wish me luck. The last day of night school is on the 30th of April, and then I have my final conferences of the school year on Tuesday. So I'm going to be at work late 3 days in a row. And then I don't have to work school on Friday. It's our spring break, Easter weekend. I ended up picking up a shift at Michael's for that morning because they're doing price changes, because with everything going on, guess what? Prices are going up. Shocker. So I'm going to help with that because we have to literally reprice pretty much the whole store. So they got some extra hours, so I took advantage of that. If you hear any strange noises, right now my cat is attacking his cardboard scratch posty thing, and we have one of those canned air to clean our computers. He managed to knock it off, broke off the tip, and now the little straw that the canned air comes out of is his favorite toy. He likes to hold it down with one paw and flick it up with the other paw like a little kid with a fidget. So that's what he's doing if you hear any weird noises. Don't have any new starts this week, so I will start with my whips. I think I worked on this Sunday after I talked to you last time. So I got some work on Cliffhanger which is by Hade, and art is by Amy Stewart. It still looks like a bunch of nothing, but it will be cliffs that look like books or books that look like cliffs. There's a lady on top. There is some waves hitting the cliff bottom. So it at least doesn't look like a little dude, weird looking little dude anymore. So I've gotten quite a few in. This was one of my prompts this week, start from Monday. This, starting on Monday, not last Sunday. And I totally forgot to put the little thing on with the password to prove. So I will be going back to this, but then I'll have gotten half of my WIPCO done because I'll have had 2 days on this. So again, right now it just looks like a blob of nothing. But that will look like a book spine at some point in the future. So I'm pretty glad with it, and I am at like 0.63% because there are so many stitches in this, and I can't even remember how many stitches are in here. But I am doing this 2/1 on 25 count. I think it's just Lugana. It's an even weave, just white, because why have fancy colored fabric? Although there is one that I'm wishing I kind of had like at least dyed it a bone color or something, but I will show you that in a minute. So that's Cliffhanger, looking pretty good. I don't like getting my needle through sometimes, but I like the coverage of 2/1 on 25. But I know it's a little tight, but I'm kind of okay with that, especially since it's supposed to be roughy like a cliff face. So if you've got a little bit unevenness in the stitches, I mean, all my stitches are neat. It's just with certain colors, they're slightly thicker or thinner than the colors next to them, so it makes it a bit bumpy. And plus, I will wash it when I'm done, and all that seems to even out when you wash it. So I'm not worried about that at all. But if there's a little bit of that left, it'll just add to the effect that it's a cliff face and all rough and bumpy. So I'm okay. All right, next is my cutesy Friend Sal by Creatively Crafting on, what is it, 32 count that I hand dyed, as I said before. I don't know if it was 32 count before I dyed it, but it was ice dyeing, so I don't think it would have done it. So, I was working on the letters, and I got the subtitle done, Nobody Cares Like a Bear. I am a fan of the Friends TV show, but I grew up on Care Bears. I'm very much an 80s kid. I had multiple Care Bears. I had a strawberry shortcake, and I was working on the letters, and I'm like, I'm tired of doing the black letters. So I actually worked my way over to the F here, just so that I could get to the first bear. And this will be Tenderheart Bear. That is the one that has one heart on his chest. Or its chest. I don't think Care Bears have genders. I'm not sure. So Tenderheart there started on the little poofy cloud, and everything will be outlined, so I'm not worried about the cloud disappearing, and I actually think it shows up pretty good. And again, this is an excellent, very 1980s feeling fabric. So yes, and I don't iron until I'm done. I will not be able to wash this one because I'm not sure how fast the dye is on my fabric. But it's okay. I gotta go back in. There's the little squares. There's a couple of them in there. Where are they? So there's the little squares here in between the letters. The colors for the other ones are in another project, and I didn't feel like digging them out. So I was working mostly on the black because I didn't want to dig out those other colors. I did have a couple of them in a box that I have because it's a project I'm actively working on. So the Cliffhanger box, I have two. There's so many colors on the Cliffhanger project that there are 2 boxes, and I usually just have them sitting on next to me so that whenever I have it, I don't have to go find them. So, but he's looking super cute. I love Care Bears. I miss Care Bears. I do not like the new art style of the new Care Bears. Do not like the art style of the new She-Ra. I don't know. I like the original. Oh, and I started that on April 2nd, and I am doing it 2/2. Oh, the Cliffhanger fabric is Witchold, not Lugana. I can't really tell the difference. I just can't. All right, Next for you is my Halloween Fairy by Nora Corbett. This is the older version of the Halloween Fairy that I actually got this out of a cross stitch magazine from, I don't even know how many years ago. I think it's called Trick or Treat Fairy now because she has another one that's called Halloween Fairy, and I actually took it out of the hoop for you this time so you can see it all. It is on, oh, what is it? 32 count Yellowstone by needleblingdesigns. Excuse me, I'm doing it 2/2, and I thought I would share it with you because I've gotten all the light brown in her skirt done. I'm working on the pumpkins are down there. They're done. I'm gonna have to go in and add the beads on her face and the owl and her hat or her crown. And then I need to go, there is, where is it in here? I think it's right around in here. There's supposed to be a blank space where the bead was supposed to go, and I accidentally stitched it. But you know, or maybe it's here. But you know what? Nobody will notice if I put the bead over the stitching. On a lot of my projects, that's actually what you do. You go ahead, ooh, itchy nose. You go ahead and you stitch all the stitches, and then the beads go over the top. So I think she's looking quite lovely, but since in the hoop, I was using a small hoop, and you would have only been able to see like this section, I thought it would be nice for you to see all of her. So she's looking lovely. I might finish her this year. I guess it depends on how many prompts she fits. I am going to soon transfer her to my new squirrel rods. The problem is I don't have a good mount for them, so I'm gonna have to be ingenious. I was trying to figure out how I could, oh wait, I've got two of the hoop stands. One is the old-fashioned one that doesn't flip, the other one's not. I wonder if I could arrange them and use them to prop the edges. Ooh, since I don't have a traditional scroll frame. For those, that might be an idea. I'll have to think on that. And then I could just put them away when I wasn't using them. Next, I had started this in December. I don't remember what day. I didn't write it down. It is another Shawshank sampler. That was the cat's food. He was gonna come bug me, and it just dropped, so now he just ran away. I wanted to get this started so I didn't have it all to do while I was trying to do my 50 starts, and I didn't want it to be one of my 50 starts because I've done this thing like 25 times now. But I've got all but the last little bit of the H done in the letters. If I work on nothing but these, if I do just this sampler, I can finish it in about a week and a half. A week and a couple of days if it's summertime and I don't have anything else to do. But it is on 11 count ivory Aida. It's designed by SS Prop Designs on Etsy. You can buy the pattern if you want to stitch it yourself, but he charges 40 bucks for the pattern. So I think that's why people just buy the finished product. And it has only got 4 colors. It's got that dark red, a light red, a green, and a tan. It's $6.99, $8.40, $8.15, and $8.17. And I'm doing it 3/1. So it fit one of the prompts, so I used it. Actually, I think it fit one of the monthlies. Now, here is Supernatural Sal by the Witchy Stitcher. I started this on October 9th in 2023. It's on 25 count Country Mocha, Vintage Country Mocha, or no, it's just Country Mocha. I'm doing it 2/2. I'm using the Etoile 550 from DMC for the border instead of black. And this is what I've got done. I've been working on the borders because I'm still debating on what colors I want to use for some of the creatures. Because I changed the unicorn. And I have not done the decorative bits in the corner because I'm trying to decide if I want to coordinate them so that they're all the same with each, or I should say I want to coordinate the boxes with each other like in the original pattern, or if I want to customize for each creature in the box. The skulls are done with glow-in-the-dark thread. I have been also trying to decide, because they are in the pattern, they are outlined in black and the center of their eyes are black. So I've been debating, and if you've got suggestions or opinions, please let me know. I have been debating on whether I want to outline them in the shiny purple etoile so that they match, and then make their eyes glow, purple etoile as well, or if I want to do black eyes and then purple etoile on the outside. There are also candles at the top as part of the border, and they have outlines of the flame and the candles, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to do those in black or if I want to stick with the purple etoile and make it super purpley. I'm still trying to figure out. For the bats, I haven't decided what I want to do with the bats on the outside border either. And yes, I know my border is very close, and I've got to come in, and I've decided that this next weekend I am going to serge the edges because I did not do that. And yeah, if it gets much closer, it will do. So I've got to serge the edges on this. When I started this, I didn't think about it, and now it's like I had my spike project that I did for a friend, and it took me about 7 years taking breaks between it and working on other pieces and everything. And my border to make the cuddle pillow was way too narrow, so it kind of distorted him when I actually turned it into a pillow. So I have learned my lesson, and I need to make sure I serge or do a basting stitch on all of my edges. And I haven't done it on this one yet. It's pretty sturdy fabric, but it gets pulled sometimes, so I really should do that before I have no margin. But I think that is looking lovely. And then the last thing I've worked on this week is my Old World map by Hade. I cannot remember the artist, and you know what? I have the bag here, and I keep meaning to remind myself who the artist is. The artist is, does it say? It doesn't say. Interesting, they usually do. Because here is, I actually have it printed out of what it'll look like. It's very similar to the one Jay the 310 Stitcher is doing, except for it doesn't have all the butterflies. I think it's almost the exact same map. Excuse me for the page sounds. I'm trying to find out who the artist is, because I know Michelle is the one that charted it, but I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere on here who's the artist. I will have to look that up. I apologize. But it came up for a prompt, and I got to like 0.98% when I've reached my amount that I needed to stitch for my prompt. And I'm like, I'm almost at 1%. I have to get to 1% before I stop. So I am officially at 1% completion, actually 1.01%. Which is like 7,600 or 1,709 stitches or something like that. So I am doing this on 25 count. It is got 200, no wait, it has got 90 colors, and this is Lugana, and I'm doing it 1/1. So I started in the top left, which is unusual for me. I'm usually a center starter. So I worked, and I got to 1.01%. And mostly I'm enjoying the coverage. I don't like a little bit of how in some spots I just get a little peek of the white. This is the one I was actually thinking I wish that before I had started it I had dyed the fabric, just, you know, to give it more of an antique-y kind of that yellowy beige paper look. But now that I've got some of those lighter colors in there, it's too late. So I'm like, oh well. But one of the reasons that didn't happen is because I am repurposing a piece of fabric that was a UFO, and I cut this design was going to be much bigger. It was that's supposed to be the center of a stained glass window. I did it very early when I first got my software, and it was from a picture that, oh, sorry, my feet bumped the stand. It was from a picture I should not have tried to turn into cross stitch, but I really wanted a stained glass window, but it was in the early days of the internet, and yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. So now I've decided that it was not worth it to try to finish it. I couldn't remember how many strands I had used, and I was using sparkly thread for the stained glass, but figuring out, I just gave up on it. Threw away the paper pattern and decided I would repurpose it for this. And yeah, so there's a little start of a little cherub guy in here, and this is a tree. So I am so excited to be 1% done. It's so silly, I know, but oh my gosh, I feel like I've reached a milestone. And I am not even close. I'm at like, and I have a lot more stitches in cliffhanger, and I'm at like 0.63%. So it's amazing the difference in the number of stitches you get in different designs. And so I am not looking forward to the frogging that I'm gonna have to do when I get down. But that's one of the reasons I started in the corner, is so I could get lots done and just pick at the frogging part at a little bit at a time, because it's boring. So those are all the whips. My plan today, for today specifically, is I want to do some house cleaning. I need to do some grading of papers, so I'm probably not going to cross stitch till this evening. And then it is a Doctor Who pop-up for Fandom Central, so I'm going to watch the third Doctor. And probably work on Frogwarts, because I get points for stitching on something with a medieval weapon, and there's a sword in year 2 of Frogwarts. And then tomorrow I will finish up, I will work on Cliffhanger again to meet my prompt, and once I hit my 200 stitches, I don't know what I'll work on because I get free choice then. And the Frogwarts will cover one of the monthlies, as well as towards my road traveled, where you have to defeat a location with 2,000 stitches or meet a monster kind of situation. So I'm not gonna do much stitching after this. I'm gonna put on some Flosstube and clean, and then probably make myself, I need to do some grading because parent-teacher conferences and the kids' grades should be up to date. So that is my job for the next couple of nights when I'm not cleaning. So crossing my fingers that I can get that done. I don't really have much haul. The only thing that came was my Just Cross Stitch magazine. I do think the little bookmark kit is very cute. And I had to stock magazines today, and we've started getting World of Cross Stitching at my Michael's. So, I mean, I already have a subscription, but like, I get discounts on magazines too. And then we had some crochet magazines that had like the little counters, and there was a Just Sew one that had clothing patterns in it. And so I got to stock those. But now Michael's is carrying, and it is, I think it's last month's we got, because, no, it was this month's, because it had the bumblebee keychain in it. So, but if it's, I don't know if we'll keep them. If we do consistently get them, I might not renew it and take my employee discount off of it. But yeah, so here is the Puffin. He is so cute. Yes, kitty. And then there, I am not a huge spring person. There's a few things, but here is the dolphin. Actually, I'm going to do the back. Here is the dolphin. And this is the one that's causing me the quandary, because I was only planning on doing the 3, and I had a shark, octopus, and a shark, octopus, and a sea turtle. There's a jellyfish one that's really cool too, but it doesn't fit in here. It's a door hanging thing, and it's much more colorful. So now I'm torn. I still think I like the other 3 designs slightly better, but I kind of want to make the dolphin too, just so I have a complete set. And then, do I want to do it in all white, or do I want to change the colors? Like, I would still make a monotone, but like maybe do a gray for the shark, maybe do a green. Ooh, what if I did variegated green for the sea turtle? But then they might not look like they go together so much if they're not all white. if you have any suggestions or recommendations or opinions about that particular conundrum, please comment below. I know Stitching with Charlie from Stitching with Charlie is working on this, and last time she messaged me on my floss tube, she said she was almost done with the bird's body. That is a kingfisher. He's very cute. Now, I don't really like spring that much. Decoration wise, I'm more of a cartoony goth person decoration wise, but this gnome, I love gnomes for some reason. I don't know why. But look at the detail. Like, they stitched it and then they did like hairs over it, and it just adds this little depth. And I love like the little whiskery beard thing on his face. That little whiskery part of the beard is just, I don't know, it just makes me happy inside. Other than that, there weren't a lot of things in this that thrilled me. There was stuff that kind of bordered on cute and cheesy, but again, it's the spring one, and I think there's a couple of patriotic ones in here that are not. Oh, here we go. This is a really good picture of the dolphin. Look at him. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I am very torn about what to do with him. And see, this is the triptych that I was planning. I actually had to go find this one in on Libby through my library. But isn't the shark awesome? And so is the turtle. Like, how do I not do those? Like, they're all so awesome. So yeah, I am really not sure what to do about that. So that was my only haul. All right, plans. I'm gonna finish my whip go. I have 3 more days to work on Cliffhanger. I am planning on a new start for my birthday, which will interfere with me working on my whip go. Maybe I'll do whip go on Saturday and focus on my new start on Sunday, because it will be my actual birthday next Sunday. So 8 days from now, I will be officially an antique. And I hadn't thought about it, but when I mentioned that it was coming up and I wasn't sure what my birthday start was last time, Charlie said, well, are you going to do a hashtag? Is there anything we can do to, like, a theme or a color that we could stitch along with you and do honor your birthday? And I hadn't even thought of that. I know people do birthday sales all the time, but honestly, because I have less than 200 subscribers, I didn't think of it. Although I did get a new subscriber. Thank you. So I was like, oh, what a fun idea. And I was like, what could I do? What could I do for my birthday sal? And with things going on, the first thing that popped into my head was the line from Handmaid's Tale. Don't let the bastards get you down, that they carved in Latin secretly, right? But I was like, okay, 1, that's way too long for a hashtag. 2, the language in that, if I'm actually posting it and writing it out, would probably get me in trouble with YouTube or Insta. So I decided to go a different route. Give me a sec. So this will be in the title of this episode, because I am not yet ready to start trying to edit these things. So in the future, once I get some editing skills, I will put stuff like that up here somewhere. So my decision was to create the hashtag Damn the Man Sal. And this is to honor my birthday, and I am going to thank Charlie for this inspiration, because I would not have thought of doing it on my own. I am used to being kind of invisible and people ignoring me. So I didn't even think of starting something like that, because I assumed nobody would join. But thank you for mentioning it, Charlie, and I hope you do join. And I hope some of you other people do too that are watching. So my concept behind the Damn the Man Sal hashtag is pick something that for you represents resistance, whether it is an actual statement of resist, defy, obey, that whole thing that's been going around, whether it is to stitch on someone who represents a fight against oppression. Harriet Tubman, so they were trying to erase her, although I found out they had to put her back up on the National Parks website, so yay. If it is, something about Stonewall, if it is just something to represent LGBTQ people, whether it is from a favorite story where people are resisting, whether it's just resisting by doing something that brings you joy. Sometimes just being able to smile when things are down and to keep going is resistance. Just being yourself and not letting people tell you who you should be can be resistance. So whatever that means to you, even if it's just doing something that makes you happy for 20 minutes a day, you can do the Damn the Man Sal. My choice would be, and I meant to grab this. In fact, I'm going to pause and go get it real quick if I can find it. All right, I am back. This is what happens. I have too many things on my to-do list and I forget something. So I know this might not represent resistance for everybody, but I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Excuse me, I'm going to zip. And this is a design by Maria Brovko, known by on Instagram as Cute Patterns by Maria. So for me, The Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings are one of the great literary examples of the little guy making a big difference when things are tough. And I admit lately, even with joining some groups so I don't feel so left out and so alone, and like I can't do anything, I still get that feeling of there's nothing I can do about this. No matter what I do, things are not going to change. And it is hard as a regular person who doesn't have any grand influence to feel like anything that you do matters, even when you go to a rally and it's a much bigger turnout than you thought. People are still dismissing them. They're still dismissing their concerns, and it's hard. So for me, the hobbits, the halflings, they are a great example of, if you keep going and you keep trying, you can make a difference, even if you don't see that difference right away. So that's why I picked The Evening in the Shire. I really would just like to have a nice, calm, secure life. And I would like to have a hobbit hole house, for reals. But for me, this is an example of somebody, the little guy making a difference, the little guy contributing, the little guy bringing change. So I'm hoping this will help. Like, it was already on my list to start, but remind me that yes, little guys, that little voice, if it's persistent enough, and if they work together and they ally with each other, the different groups, change can come, that things can get better. So I've got a bag that was made for me, and these are the colors. It's not a lot of colors. I think that's all the colors. I don't think there's another one. Let me look real quick. Yeah, there's just 6 colors. And then there's different amounts, the different things tell me. Yeah, there's just 6 colors. Ooh, I'm going to have to go figure out what that symbol is. But I am doing it on, what is FOW? Fiber on a Whim. I'm doing it on 28 count. I will be doing it on 28 count Fiber on the Whim malachite. I've seen this done on other people's floss tubes, and unfortunately I can't remember who. And they did it on a dark blue, which I thought about, but I couldn't find one at this, because I got this at Stitchville when they were having their final sale, which makes me sad. But I couldn't find a blue that I thought had the right feel. But this to me is a good choice because hobbit holes are built into the hills. And this reminds me of like a really beautiful, like foresty hill, like wild green place. So I think it is a great thing to put. What is it, Mr. Kitty? I only have 5 colors, so, it's 310 that's not in there. It actually reminds me of that, and I think it's a great background for a hobbit hole. Makes me think, well, hey, get off that, kitty. Hey. But I'm going to show you the colors I was most worried about were my yellows, and I think they are going to pop on that beautifully. So that is my new start for my birthday. I will probably not do a live just because I need away from people time. I'm an introvert. But if you are in the mood to resist the authorities that be, fascism, or if you just want to find joy in something that you do, please join me for Damn the Man Sal. Hashtag Damn the Man Sal. That will be my birthday start. It was slated for later this year, but I'm like, whatever. It's my year starts. I'm going to do what I want. But yes, I am looking forward to this very much. I actually had to make myself put it later in the year. I was trying to make sure I didn't have too many big projects to start in the same month. But now it's kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to find it fit in a prompt, and I'm going to go with it and start it whenever I want. And I'm still pretty good on my starts, although I think I might be running behind a little bit, but that's okay. I have all summer. Well, not all summer, because I'm going to be teaching for like the first 3 weeks of summer, but only 4 days a week and only for half a day, because that's summer school. And I won't be starting anything the week of Frogwarts. I'm going to just use the previous years and work on that. So, I don't have anything that I've been watching. We've been watching Severance, but we haven't finished the last season. But kind of sporadically. It's mostly been Doctor Who and some silly movies because we need something uplifting. For watching, I started watching We Scott Allie last week, which I mentioned her, and I've mostly been watching her in the mornings before I go to work, trying to get all caught up on her. So that's about the only Flosstuber I've watched this week. I've got to get caught up on Mad Morty, Animal Instinct. DNA Geek Crafts hasn't in a while. She went on a trip. I did see that Stitchy Witch 42 Audrey was back in the hospital. Hopefully she's out now. So I hope she's doing better. If you like spooky stitching, definitely go check out her channel. And I don't know, that's about all I've got. Got my door cracked, as I said, and I'm just enjoying. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and may today be kinder to you than yesterday, and tomorrow be kinder to you than today. Have a great week. Oh, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.